And Jesus left these nations so as to test Israel by means of them, all those who had no experience of all the wars of Canaan, only on account of the generations of the sons of Israel, to teach them war. Only those before them did not know them. The 5 satrapies of the Aliphiles, and the full number of the Canaanite, and the Sidonian, and the Hevite who lived on Lebanon, from Mount Baal-Hermon as far as Lebomath. And it happened so as to test Israel by means of them, to know whether they would obey the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. And the sons of Israel lived in the midst of the Canaanite, and the Chettite, and the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Hevite, and the Jebusite. And they took their daughters for wives for themselves, and their own daughters they gave to their sons, and they served their gods. And the sons of Israel did what was evil before the Lord, and they forgot the Lord their God, and served the She-Baalim, and the sacred groves. And the Lord was furiously angry against Israel. And he gave them up into the hands of King Cusar-Satam, of Syria of the rivers, and they were subject to him 8 years. And the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord, and the Lord raised up a deliverer for Israel, and he delivered them, Gothaniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, and he obeyed him. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel, and he went out to war. And the Lord gave King Cusar-Satam of Syria into his hand, and his hand prevailed over Cusar-Satam, and the land had rest 50 years, and Gothaniel, son of Kenaz, died. And the sons of Israel added to do what was evil before the Lord, and the Lord strengthened King Eglon of Moab against Israel, because they had done what was evil before the Lord. And he brought to him all the sons of Ammon and Amalek, and he went and struck down Israel, and he inherited the city of palms. And the sons of Israel were subject to King Eglon of Moab 18 years. And the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord, and the Lord raised up for them a deliverer, Aod, son of Gerah, son of Yemeni, an ambidextrous man. And the sons of Israel sent gifts to King Eglon of Moab by his hand. And Aod made for himself a double-bladed dagger, a span in length, and he fastened it on his right thigh under his cloak. And he presented the gifts to King Eglon of Moab. And Eglon was a very handsome man. And it came about, when Aod had finished presenting the gifts, that he sent those who bore the gifts on their way. And Eglon turned back from the carved objects with Galgal. And Aod said, I have a secret message for you, O king. And Eglon said to everyone, Away. And all his attendants went out from him. And Aod came in to him, and he was sitting alone, quite by himself in his summer roof chamber. And Aod said, I have a divine message for you, O king. And Eglon rose from his seat near to him, and it came about, just as he rose up, that Aod reached with his left hand, and took the dagger from his right thigh, and thrust it into Eglon's belly. And indeed he even drove the hilt in after the flame, and the fat closed over the flame, for he did not draw the dagger out of his belly. And Aod went out into the vestibule, and he closed the doors of the roof chamber on him, and wedged them. And he had gone out, and his servants came in, and they looked, and see, the doors of the roof chamber were locked. And they said, Perhaps he is sitting on the stool in the retreat of his bedroom. And they waited, embarrassed. And see, there was no one to open the doors of the roof chamber. And they took the key and opened, and see, their lord was lying dead on the ground. And Aod escaped while they were in confusion, and there was no one paying attention to him. And he passed beyond the carved objects, and escaped to Sirotha. And it came about, when he arrived, that he sounded with a horn in the hill country of Ephraim. And the sons of Israel went down with him, and he himself was at their head. And he said to them, Come down after me, for the Lord God has given your enemies Moab into your hand. And they went down after him, and quickly seized the fords across the Jordan of Moab. And they did not allow a man to cross over. And at that time they struck down Moab, about 10,000 men, all the warriors among them, even every man of power, and not a man escaped. And Moab was humbled in that day under the hand of Israel. And the land had rest for 80 years, and Aod judged them until he died. And after him arose Samagar, son of Anath, and he struck down the Aliphiles, fully 600 men, as well as calves of cattle, and he himself delivered Israel. And the sons of Israel added to do what was evil before the Lord, and the Lord gave them up in the hand of King Jabin of Canaan, who reigned in Hazor. And the commander of his force was Sisera, and he himself lived in Haseroth of the nations. And the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord, for he had 900 ironclad chariots, and himself cruelly oppressed Israel for 20 years. And at that time a woman, Deborah, a prophetess, wife of Lapidoth, was judging Israel by herself. And she used to sit by herself under the palm of Deborah, between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim. And the sons of Israel would come up to her there to resolve disputes. And Deborah sent and summoned Barak, son of Abinim, from Kadesh Naphtali, and said to him, Is it not you whom the Lord, the God of Israel, commanded? And you shall leave for Mount Tabor, and bring with you 10,000 men from the sons of Naphtali, and from the sons of Zabulon. And I will bring out to you, to the Wadi Kishon, Sisera, commander of Jabin's force, and his chariots and his horde, and I will give him in your hand. And Barak said to her, If you will go with me, I will go, and if you will not go with me, I will not go, for I do not know the day in which the Lord will send his angel on a good journey with me. And Deborah said to him, Going I will go with you, but know that it will not be your success for the journey on which you are going, for the Lord will give Sisera up in the hand of a woman. And Deborah got up and went with Barak to Kadesh. And Barak summoned Zabulon and Naphtali to Kadesh, and 10,000 warriors went up at his heels, and Deborah went up with him. And the fellows of the Kenite had separated from the sons of Jobab, a relative by marriage of Moses, and he had pitched his tent by Oak of the Resters, which is near Kadesh. And they told Sisera that Barak son of Abinim had gone up to Mount Tabor, and Sisera called out all his chariots, for he had 900 ironclad chariots, and all the people who were with him, from Hazeroth of the nations to the Wadi Kishon. And Deborah said to Barak, Up, for this is the day in which the Lord has given Sisera in your hand. See, will the Lord not go before you? And Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men behind him. And the Lord threw Sisera and all his chariots and all his camp into a panic by the edge of the sword before Barak. And Sisera got down from his chariot and fled away on his feet. And Barak was pursuing after the chariots and after the camp, all the way to Thicket of the nations. And all the camp of Sisera fell by the edge of the sword, not even one was left. And Sisera had retreated on his feet to the tent of Jael, wife of Chaber the Kenite. And there was peace between King Jabin of Hazor, and between the clan of Chaber the Kenite. And Jael came out to meet Sisera and said to him, Come aside, my lord, come aside to me, have no fear. And he came aside to her into the tent, and she covered him with her skin curtain. And Sisera said to her, Do but give me a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. And she opened the skin of milk, and gave him a drink, and covered up his face. And he said to her, Stand at the entrance of the tent, and it shall be, if anybody comes to you, and asks you, and says to you, Is a man within? That you will say, There is not. And she covered him up with her skin curtain. And Jael, wife of Chaber, took the tent peg, and placed the hammer in her hand, and quietly went in towards him, and hammered the peg into his jaw, and drove it through in the ground. And as for him, he writhed between her knees, and he breathed his last and died. And see, Barak was pursuing Sisera, and Jael went out to meet him and said to him, Come see, and I will show you the man whom you are seeking. And he went in to her, and see, Sisera a fallen corpse, and the tent peg in his jaw. And the Lord God humbled King Jabin of Canaan in that day before the sons of Israel. And the hand of the sons of Israel went out, going and becoming hard against King Jabin of Canaan, until they destroyed him. And Deborah sang, and Barak son of Abinim in that day, and said, When chiefs take the lead in Israel, when people make their free choice, bless the Lord. Hear, O kings, give ear, O mighty satraps. I will sing to the Lord. I will make music to the God of Israel. Lord, at your marching out from Seir, when you set out from the field of Edom, earth trembled, and the sky was convulsed, and the clouds dripped water. Mountains quaked from before the Lord. This Sinai from before the Lord, God of Israel. In the days of Samagar, son of Anath, in the days of Jael, kings were lacking, and they traveled paths, they traveled twisting roads. A spokesman was lacking in Israel, he was lacking, until Deborah rose up, for she arose as a mother in Israel. They chose new gods like barley bread, protection if I see it, of barbed lances among 40,000. My heart is for what was ordained for Israel. You, the powerful of the people, bless the Lord. Mounted upon draft animals, sitting on covered chariots, utter a sound of people, who strike up music in the midst of those who rejoice. There they will attribute righteousness to the Lord. The righteous prevailed in Israel. Then the people of the Lord went down to their cities. Awake, awake, Deborah, arouse tens of thousands along with the people. Awake, awake, speak with a song. Strengthen, arise, Barak, and Deborah strengthen Barak. Take captive your captives, O son of Abanim. When was his strength increased? Lord, humble for me those who are stronger than I. People of Ephraim wreaked vengeance on them, in your brother Benjamin's valley, among your peoples. At my leading Machir went down in search, and from Zabulon the Lord would fight for me among the mighty. From there with the scepter of him who prevails in leadership. In Issachar he sent his foot soldiers, with Deborah into the valley. You, why do you dwell in the midst of shores? He spread out with his feet. Among the divisions of Reuben, there were great inquiries of heart. Tell me, why do you sit among the Mosphataim, to hear the pipings of those who arouse? To cross over into the territory of Reuben, there were great searchings of heart. Gilad encamped beyond the Jordan, and Dan, why does he dwell by the ships? Asher sojourned at the shore of the seas, and encamped by his channels. Zabulon is a people that scorned their life to death. Naphthalim too, on the heights of the field. Kings came and they mustered. They fought kings of Canaan. At Thanach, by the water of Megiddo, they got no excessive share of silver. Stars fought from the sky. From their courses they fought with Sisera. Wadi Kishon carried them away. Wadi Kadamim, Wadi Kishon, my mighty soul will trample them. Then tendons of a horse were cut. Amadaroth of his mighty ones. Curse Meroz, said the angel of the Lord. Curse its inhabitants with a curse, because they did not come to the help of the Lord. The Lord is our helper, mighty among warriors. May Jael of women be blessed, wife of Kibar the Kenite. Of women in a tent may she be blessed. He asked her for water, and she gave him milk. She brought butter near in a dish of strong ones. She put her left hand to a peg, her right hand to the cutting off of weary ones, and she beheaded Sisera. She crushed his skull, and she shattered and pierced his jaw. Between her feet he doubled up and fell. He lay between her feet, where he doubled up. There he fell wretched. Out of the window the mother of Sisera was leaning down, looking down through the lattice, at those who returned with Sisera. Why is his chariot the last to arrive? Why tarry the tracks of his chariots? The wise among her leading ladies replied to her. She too answered with her own words. Will they not find him dividing the spoil, showing friendship to friends toward a mighty man's head? Sisera's spoils of dyed cloth, spoils of dyed embroidered cloth, a dyed robe of embroidered cloth, around his neck is spoil. So perish all your enemies, O Lord, and may those who love him be like the rising of the sun in its dominance. And the land had rest 40 years.